Okay, so welcome to episode 1 of 90 Day the Miniladies Way. Allison,
Hey,
hi.
it's been forever, Lauren.
Oh no,
Forever.
I know. It's nice to have something to do again. So
Right?
we were messaging about this show because I know that you're a fan and I know that you watch. And
Yes.
I said, this cast is so good that I need to talk about this with somebody. And when I say good, I mean they're all terrible.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. I was trying to find like some silver lining or something positive to
No,
say, but
no, no, they're all horrible. So today we're going to recap season 8, episode 8, called Unsure and Insecure, which I decided could pretty much be about anyone on this show. So I was trying to figure out what they meant by that title.
yeah. I think at one point somebody said that they felt insecure. I forget who it was though, so maybe that's where it came from.
Maybe. Uh,
I don't know.
Unsure could be Yara in the pregnancy, so which
It could be, yes.
not great,
Very
but
possible.
we'll get to it. So we're going to
Yeah.
go couple by couple, and this episode started with Stephanie and Ryan. So we get to start with them, who I think they had the most meat for sure in the episode.
So, for those who don't watch 90 Day Fiance, Stephanie is a close to 60-year-old woman who owns like a day med spa. So, like, lots of
Yeah,
Botox, lots of like young people cream, like whatever that stuff's called. 'Cause I don't know. I'm not there yet, thank God. Um, and she feeds her cats whipped yogurt, and she has murals of herself in her house, and her biggest aspiration in life is to hula hoop for 100 hours straight for the Guinness Book of World Records, I think. So this just paints the picture of who Stephanie is before we dig into this. And she is a wacko. I think I think this episode, so this was great because we haven't really seen a lot of Stephanie or Ryan.
right.
He's in Belize. COVID struck. They've been arguing over the phone. He's not answering her phone calls. She's calling him like 65 times, like she's 13 years old and lovesick and whatever. She is so cringy. I can't even deal. So
Bad.
in this episode, she's packing stuff to go see him in Belize, and they finally meet up. And I like, I don't know about you, the age difference between the two of them. So he's 27
Mhm.
and she's 57, right? So it's like a good 20 years between the two of them. And like my alarm bells were going off.
Well, and
I feel uncomfortable even talking about it. I
the
don't
fact that
know.
she has to age drop him every time she
Yes.
introduces him. This is my 27-year-old fiance. Rebecca does this too. Whenever you're mentioning the age, have you
Yeah.
ever done that with like a boyfriend? Like, oh, this is my,
No.
35-year-old boyfriend. No, you don't include their age. That is a very red flag right there. It's very strange. Her packing that suitcase, I was fascinated. What is it with the watches? What's happening?
So I was actually listening to Kim and Kyle, 90 Day Cray Cray, the podcast that you introduced me to.
Yeah,
Thank you for
yeah.
introducing Kim and Kyle to my life. And I think Kim said that somebody messaged her and said that like watches are big in Belize and like he can sell them. So
Well, he's
that
selling them out of the trunk of a car for sure. Come on. He's doing that. He actually said it in his ITM. He's like, I'd rather have money than all these weird gifts.
right. I was like, okay. And the fact that she was like she seems okay, well, I don't even know. Maybe she's not like well traveled. I don't know. She seems like somebody who would go to a lot of different places. She drives a Maserati, like her car is awesome. Like she's obviously has money. She's buying him $3,000 watches, whatever. She's very successful. But as somebody who actually like travels anywhere, like not to put anything of value in your suitcase that you're going to check. Like you're never going to see it again. Like I am
Yeah.
shocked that it made it there. She's like tossing like family heirlooms in her
Yeah. And it's
bag.
all
Like
loosey goosey. Nothing's in like a a secured envelope or a box. It's just thrown in there. It was very strange. And then
Yeah, I do not roll that way.
she's holding up like this bathing suit, and she says, "Well, we're gonna have our matching swimwear now."
Oh, I
And
was
this
like,
is so strange,
no,
so strange. And
no.
and with the watches, she hands him the watch, and she's like, "Here, this was $3,000. Have you ever been gifted a piece of jewelry and they immediately tell you how much they spent?"
No.
Like that was, she's so strange. But then my favorite part of the Stephanie and Ryan, she tells him to sit down, get out his phone, and she wants to see everything in there.
Oh,
Now,
right.
odds that he whips out a burner phone,
100%.
he had that thing ready.
Yes.
He had it ready. Like we all know this. You could see it in his face. And she's scrolling through, she's checking everything. All in the meantime, we all know she's banged his cousin. So none of this is making any sense to me. I'm going, well, how trust issues,
Right?
guilty conscience? I don't know. She's very, very odd to me.
I kept forgetting that, and then they brought it up on the preview for the next week, and I was like, oh
I
my God,
can't wait.
if his cousin looks anything like him, like what is going
Not
on?
good.
He is not attractive. I was like on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe a 2. Like I don't understand what's going on here. I don't know, whatever. I don't understand. This whole thing
Yeah.
was so uncomfortable. They're having margaritas at dinner, and like she's giving him the ring that he's going to propose to her with.
And then she waited. She thought it was coming right back. She's kind of like,
Yeah.
here's the ring. And then she's like, so you can propose to me anytime now. And then there was a little pause, and she's like, I gave you this ring to propose to me anytime. And
The fact that she just gave him a family heirloom, like it was her mother's ring that her father gave her mother, whatever she had explained it to be. I was like, again, alarm bells, alarm bells.
not good.
He's looking at it like as if, like, how am I going to sell this? Or what am I going to sell it for? Oh my God.
So let us not forget, she whips out a box. What do you think? How many condoms were in there, Al? 50? The 50 pack of glow in the dark condoms. Now I need you to explain something to me because I'm confused. How dark is the room that things are glowing in the dark? Like maybe put some lights on. They must not be visual people.
My stomach is turning. So it's just, the whole thing is just so gross. I can't. Glow in the dark. Okay, I'm not going to go there, but she also brought glow in the dark tape.
The tape, and she's like, I'll tie you up and put these condoms on you. Now, this to me screams, I want to seem edgy, so I'm going with like this novelty store idea because I can't believe that anyone needs a glow in the dark condom because it isn't seen eventually.
That's exactly what I was going to say, and I stopped myself. But
I got you.
We're like, what is the point? Like, why is that even a thing?
I just can't imagine it's that dark. Like, I hate to use this analogy, but like when my kids used to get like a little glow in the dark, whatever, they'd have to go in their closet, literally, where there's zero light.
I was just going to say that. So do you have to like keep it out for a little bit, and then?
I say glow in the dark condoms, not necessary. Not necessary.
I just don't understand. Like, why is that a thing? Like, why is that fun?
Oh,
like,
she was so
why is that
too.
a novelty?
Yep. And then
there's so many other things that could be way better.
Strips of them around. This is Monday night's 10-pack, and this is Tuesday nights. Which one of the two of them is initiating that much sex?
Well, so he had said that, or she said, I know you like it 4 times a night. And I was like, okay, like way too much information, first of all. And second of all, like what, like, why is that like, I don't know, like, why is that the barometer of like satisfaction? I don't understand.
Because she thinks if he wants to sleep with me all the time, then this is true love. When, let's be real, he would probably put it in just about anything. But then He gives her the biggest backhanded compliment I've ever heard. This is like the last thing I ever want to. I want to die and never have to hear this. He says to us in his ITM, he says, "Yeah, she's a little over the hill, but she can keep up." Like, I think
And
he
then
thinks he's being nice. That's not nice.
no, and like, yeah, I don't want to think about that. But then they like cut to them. I was going through things. I am not going to say it. Then they cut to them, and they're like, he's like on top of her, and there's like kissing noises, and it's just so awkward and uncomfortable. Like, I am uncomfortable.
I'd never need the kissing noises.
There is zero chemistry, like none. He is
No.
not into it. She is a sugar mama.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Scene. In
End of
like 5
story.
episodes, they're going to be broken up, and like, yeah, she
Yeah.
gave him $500,000.
Although I do think, and I'm going to go ahead to next week, and I'm going to make a prediction. I do not think he's going to care about her sleeping with the cousin. A, because I don't think he really likes her that much, and B, I think the cousin probably already told him. Come on now, I can't imagine the cousin didn't already tell him.
The question is, do we get to meet the cousin? Do we get to see the cousin? That'll be good TV right there.
Yeah, so I'm hoping for those things. So that's next week.
Yes.
So the next couple we come across is Mike and Natalie.
Oh, Natalie.
That's not bad. It's a lot.
I need a lot of blush, though.
You know what I was thinking about her makeup? You know where we have seen this look before? In the Nutcracker. Like, if she was going to do the ballet, that would work. Am I wrong?
No.
That's all I know.
Like, you mean like the sugar plum doll that has like the oh jeez.
Yeah. So we get a new character this week, Mike's mom.
I love Mike's mom.
Mike's mom with the quote of the night. Butter is good for your mind.
It is.
Okay, I've never heard of that before. Have you heard of that?
No.
Well, I get on my Google and I type in butter is, and that was the first option, good for the mind. And I was blown away. I said, I didn't know that. But if anyone wants to convince me that I should eat more butter, I'm perfectly fine with this. Let me know.
Listen, I'll take any excuse. And if Mike's mom from Oklahoma with the bangs from the 90s says that butter is good for you, I am all in, 100%. All in.
I wrote it down immediately. Butter is good for the mind. I gotta look that up. Apparently it's the thing.
I really liked Mike's mom a lot.
Mm-hmm.
As far as mothers go, on this show, she was also like very reasonable and kind of kept her opinion out of stuff. She was just pleasant, other than the bangs. I liked her.
Yeah.
Hang out.
Yeah. I did too. The bangs were a lot. She was a little more candid when she talked to us than when she was talking to the couple. Yeah. Now, what I find interesting, I want to know what you think. Who has the parent and child more look-alike, Mike and his mom, or Chantel and her mom? Because
that's a good question.
The genes are just undisputably,
that's a really good question. I didn't even think of that.
Each other.
They did look a lot alike. I think if Mike had like a mullet, maybe.
Yeah.
I'd go with Mike and his mom.
Yeah, they looked a lot alike.
They did.
So I feel like Natalie, basically what has happened here is she threw out a bluff last time they were on. People who haven't watched this before, this is their second season, so we've seen them before. She returned her engagement ring in what I think was a bluff move, and it's biting her in the ass ever since.
Yes. Yes, it is. She on this season has been terrible. I thought she was a little much the first time we saw her on the last go around. I actually had planned on writing down all of the awful, annoying things that she was going to say to Mike this week, because we're on episode 8. All 7 episodes, she has nagged that man more than anyone I have ever seen in my life. I mean, everything is a comment. Oh, you're going to eat that meat that was alive. Meanwhile, she's eating scallops, which, like, were those not alive? I'm confused. Or she doesn't like him to drink, or it's just, or his people are low class, or she doesn't like living in the wood. She calls it the wood instead of the woods. And all she does is clean all day, and his closet smells. And it's just like, is there anything good going on here? And also, I couldn't put up with someone who was that, like, at me all the time. She's like a 60-year-old woman in a 30-year-old body. Like, nothing is right and everything is wrong and it has to be her way.
Yeah.
I would have said, forget this. You should probably go home now.
Yeah, if every time I was putting a piece of food up to my mouth, I was getting a comment like, "Oh, you're eating bread again?" Like, I don't need that in my life. And he has been very patient, very patient. But we saw it in episode 1 when she was like, "Oh, I'm coming tomorrow," or whatever, and he was kind of like, "Oh,
you are
great." My expectations for them are very low because we saw it go bad before. We will see it go bad again. And just based on how high strung she is, say she gets the ring that she's been, prowling around for, and they get married, then it's going to be straight baby obsession. Her obsession will never be over. It will always be something.
I cannot imagine her being my mother. Like, that's all I've been thinking for these 7 episodes. I would leave. I would just be up and out. Like, I could not deal. No. I could not deal. I think part of it is, I don't know what it's like to not be in my own country and live there for X amount of time. I don't know what that's like. And I'm sure that that's part of it. She just feels out of place. But at the same time, it's just like, you have to meet this guy halfway somewhere. I mean, it can't all be terrible in Sequim, Washington.
They actually had a fight over whether or not she's headstrong. In the meantime, being headstrong about said fight, I'm like, well, you're proving his point right here. It was, I found that extremely amusing.
Yeah. Yes, I did too.
We will go on to probably the most controversial couple of the season, Brandon and Julia. Yeah, I'll let you go ahead and start. What do you think of Brandon and Julia?
So,
I guess.
So, Brandon and Julia. Julia is a very, very attractive girl from Russia. And Brandon looks like the kid on like some box of cereal. Like, he's got like the freckles. He lives on a farm with his parents. They breed dogs. His parents are actually as much a part of this couple as they actually are. Would you agree with that? Their names are Betty and Ron. And Julia came to the US, and Betty has been up her ass since she got off that airplane about birth control, about wearing clothes in her hot tub, about feeding animals that they have on their farm. And it's like a hobby farm. And Julia is terrified of like this pig with tusks. There is nothing normal about that pig. I would be terrified of it too. I am not a farm girl. I am 100% in her corner. So this episode starts with Julia yelling at the chickens. She's out in like a half top and some jeans feeding animals, and she's got dirt all over her face, and she's yelling, and she's done, and everything smells, and she hates it. And she goes in and calls her dad, and her dad gives her a piece of advice. The only person that I wanted to throw my remote at more than Natalie is Betty and Ron, Brandon's parents. They will not allow them to stay in the same room. Yeah. What?
We didn't see them this episode, just to clarify.
We did not. Yeah. But it's a big part of the reason why Julia is so unhappy. Betty is a little unreasonable. She has very high expectations for Julia, and poor Julia has come, and she's like this indentured servant to them. She must work on the farm. She must feed the animals. She must do all these things. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I'm a woman of, 20, whatever she is years old, and I don't need to be living under your parents' roof. So she has had it. She gives Brandon the axe. Either we leave or I'm going back to Russia. Do you agree with her?
So I have a few thoughts. One, I just find it impossible to believe she didn't know what she was getting into. They FaceTimed for years, every single day. He never walked around like their household and said like, hey, this is where we live. This is where you're coming to. I really think sometimes someone like Julia thinks she's getting dropped off in Beverly Hills. So
that's really what she wants, right? I mean, she said that flat out.
That is what she wants.
Right.
So that I'm kind of like, okay. I am not a fan, and we see this a lot with the Europeans. Think of Andre. They have a way about how they speak that is very demanding, and I'm not one to yell and scream to get my way. Like, she called him up at work and just lost her mind. So I'm like, oh, and I get it. He's just super passive mama's boy, and he's going to say yes to her, and then he's going to say yes to the mom, and it's going to go in circles. Do I feel bad about her doing the farm work? Yes. I would not want to do that. So.
I would feel less passionately about it if they gave her an option, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it's like, you're here, you must do this thing. And it's like, she came from this huge city. You've put her in the middle of the country with that pig there. That pig there is something wrong with that thing. Like,
rabies, maybe? I don't know. Do pigs get rabies?
I don't know, but it has tusks. Like, what is that? Like, what is happening here? I would absolutely not do that. I'm sorry. I am a city girl, as much as I can be in my little suburb of Boston, but there is no way I would be doing that. I don't blame her in the least. And they could have at least given her choices. I mean, maybe they did. Maybe we don't see it, but it's just like, I don't know. It just seems a little creepy that this girl comes here and you expect her to be like the farmhand and like not only expect but demand, and then like get upset when she's not excited about, like, I don't know, that's just not how you treat people that are, I don't know, coming to your, like, I don't know. The whole thing is kind of messed up. I mean, but then if you look at Betty and Ron, and what poor Brandon has probably been enduring his whole entire life with these crazy people. I mean, what else do we expect?
The jizz in the hot tub conversation from last week was all I needed to know, that this isn't a normal way of how you handle your children. Like, that's not normal. That's not how your mother talks to. I can't get past that. Like, I'm having.
So you're allowed to get in the hot tub. Actually, it's a requirement to not work in the hot tub.
Must be naked.
Must be naked, because the dryer sheets that you use on the towels wreck the pH. Now, does anybody have a hot tub out there in the comment section? Is this true? It doesn't seem to me like it would be that big of a deal. But they are not allowed to sleep in the same room together.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, have you ever, like, so when I was younger, like a lot younger, I lived with a boyfriend and his family for a couple of months, and you don't feel like it's your home. Like, you feel like, you're walking on eggshells. Oh, I can't use, this part of the living room, and I have to do this and I have to do that. So I understand you're just going to naturally feel that way. But this guy's got to just step in here. He is the mediator, and he's not doing it.
It's time to step up to mommy and daddy at a certain point in your life. Even though it's not easy, you have to do what's right for you and your family.
No, I agree. So we will go on to Yara and Jovi, which there wasn't really a lot going on with them. She's pregnant. I'm not surprised about that.
Me either.
My biggest takeaway of Yara was when she went to the airport to get him, she had her coat over her shoulders, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
I don't understand that.
How does it not fall off? Like,
I don't know.
If I tried to walk around like that, I would look foolish.
Well, it would just fall off me and I would lose it. She's done that a couple times, actually. I think she also did that when she met like his mom and aunt at the cafe.
Right,
And I was thinking the same thing.
yeah.
I don't understand. I mean, she's stunning. Like, she's probably one of the most beautiful people that have ever been on that show. And she clearly is very fashionable. But yeah, like, there has to be some sort of like Velcro.
Yeah, there's got to be something underneath that's like pinned to her shoulders or something, because I can't wrap my head around how that coat stays on. That being said, that was the most interesting part of their whole. I
Yeah.
think next week should be better, but and they weren't on that much just because I think he's been gone for a month, so
Right.
they
He's a
don't have
man
much
child. He's drinking whiskey at 9 o'clock in the morning, and she's nauseous and probably smells it and wants to vomit everywhere. And yeah, I don't understand. Why are we doing this? What is that?
I agree. I would have loved to see Yara if she had to go home to Rebecca's apartment. That sometimes I switch the couples in my head. So I'm like, imagine if she walked into that place with the shopping cart and no furniture.
I was going to say with the shopping cart. Of course, yeah.
So random.
So random.
We quickly went through them. So our last couple is Andrew and Amira. Now, I'll admit, I didn't dislike Andrew until this episode. And now I can't get over it. I can't get over it.
Yeah. I will just say, if I am like Amira, was thrown into a Mexican immigration detention center for 3 days without a phone or a watch or clothing or God only knows what else. And this dude was calling me from the Mexican resort, getting massages and on boats and eating steak. Like, I would be like, 2 fingers, I am out of like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, this was like how the conversation went. She's like, oh, I was stuck in a room for 3 days and I had to like, pee in the corner and I didn't have any toilet paper. And he goes, oh, well, I was at a beautiful steakhouse, but I did wish you were there. And you know what? She gives the ultimate woman tone and you hear it because she goes, oh, you decided to stay there? Now, you know what that voice meant.
Oh, yes. And I agreed with every part of it. The poor thing. No, that's not going to work out. I'm sorry. He was like living the dream. So, like, first and foremost, if that was my dad and he was still with us in this world, he would have flown to Mexico and kicked his ass. Like he would have killed him if I ended up in any facility like that. So that's one. And Andrew's sitting out on the beach and he's like living the dream. He's got his ice cream. He's got a spoon in memory of Amira. Like, what was that? That was weird. And he's looking at this family on the beach and he's like, this thing makes me think of, starting a life with Amira and having a family and having days like this. And I'm like, buddy.
Meanwhile, she's in a cage. She's in a cage, and he is just like, yeah, it'd be great if she was here, but in the meantime, I'm going to go hit the zip lining, and then, we've got charades down by the beach.
Right? And the booze cruise, like, what are we doing here? No, that's not going to happen. No. Not thinking about starting a family, maybe think about getting her out of Mexican immigration jail. Yep. And like getting on your knees and thanking God that she's okay. Yep. And begging for her forgiveness.
Terrible. I mean, I don't think he even left his room to try to help. He never went and sought out anybody. It's crazy.
I'm sure that they weren't doing much else at that hotel during COVID. Right. I can't imagine it would be bustling, and I'm sure that somebody would have loved to have helped him that speaks the language. So, yeah. I would be even more like, she didn't even know that either, right? So she doesn't know like what his level of effort was. If I saw that, I would be like, you are the dumbest person alive. And this cannot continue.
I mean, she should easily be able to move on from him.
Yeah.
She's lovely. Yeah. Usually really, really long hair. I really don't love Yara's hair extensions. Now, tell me, is her hair real?
Who, Amira?
Yes.
I think so. I think so.
Holy moly! What is
Yeah.
she eating? A lot of butter? Like what vitamins is she taking? Because her hair is unbelievable.
Butter is very, very good for you, Lauren.
I'm gonna just start just grab a stick and go to town because we've heard a lot about butter tonight. So
Work for Paula D.
apparently. So I did. Oh, I had one more note about Amira. Now I'm about to talk out of both sides of my mouth, but at least since I'm admitting it, it's okay.
Okay.
Sometimes we see people come on this show and I say, are they not aware they're going to be on TV? Like what's happening? Amira took a 12-hour flight in a cocktail dress.
I know. I don't. Do you really think she did though? Because
I
don't
thought they
know.
showed her at the airport and she was clunking around in her heels. I mean, I haven't been on an airplane in a long time, but I can tell you right now, I would not be wearing a cocktail dress on an airplane.
No, it's too cold, first of all. Like,
that's a good point. Yeah.
it's freezing. And second of all, like, you don't look like that when you get off an airplane. Like, your skin's all dry and like I don't look like that when I get off an airplane. I have done the bathroom like switcheroo, not Darcy style, but yeah, like I've like opened up the suitcase and like gotten ready for the day in an airport bathroom in many different countries. Like it's just what you have to do. And maybe she pulled one of those because she knew she's going to be on camera.
Okay. I found it very interesting. I was like, oh wow, she's all dolled up. I personally, right now with COVID, I have a universal outfit. It's something I sleep in, wear to the gym, wear to work, wear to the grocery store. It's all the same thing. It's yoga pants and a t-shirt.
I'm shocked that like she still had the watch and like all the jewelry and stuff. Like her suitcase wasn't gone through or anything. It seems like she didn't mention that, but I was surprised. She was lucky.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, so do you have any final thoughts? Or we were going to do who was the like hero best character of the episode for you?
Oh, by best you mean worst, right?
Who entertained you the most?
Who entertained me the most? I would say probably Mike's mom.
Oh, me too. That was mine.
Julia is a very close runner-up, but Mike's mom probably wins this episode.
With the bangs and the butter.
Yeah, absolutely. The haircut was very 1993.
That's Oklahoma, apparently?
Yes. Well, yeah, no, I respect it. She rocked it. So, yeah, I think that would be my choice. I had a couple questions for you, Lauren.
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
So these are things that I was thinking about. So just this season, right?
Yes.
Who do you think is going to work out?
I think Jovi and Yara are going to end up with a baby, and I don't know if that is considered working out, but I think they're going to be cemented together for a while.
Same.
Unhappily, because I don't think she's going to have much patience for him in general.
Okay. Who is definitely not going to work out?
Oh, Stephanie and Ryan. This is a disaster. A disaster. They're going to run out of in the dark condoms and then not know what to do themselves.
Yeah. Oh, it makes me so uncomfortable. I can't even tell you how skeeved I am by them. I'm just like, my skin is like, like the whole time I was just like watching like this. Oh, it's gross. Yeah. I agree. I also don't think that Andrew and Amira are going to ever even start the visa process. That's my prediction.
I don't think they will ever have physical contact. No.
I don't think so either.
They will never be on the same land, I guess.
I think Amira could do a lot better than Andrew.
I agree.
Yes. Okay. So if you had to pick one to be your fiance of this season, who would you choose?
Oh boy.
Some good choices. You got Mike, Tariq, Ziad, Ryan, Brandon, Andrew, or Jovi.
I'll go with Jovi because he goes away for 4 weeks at a time, right? That's his job, right? He's 4 weeks home, 4 weeks away. Yeah, give me that.
That's smart. I didn't think about that. I would
Who
pick,
would you go with?
that's very smart. I would probably have to say Mike. He's also gone for a long time during
True,
the
he has
day,
6 hours
right?
commute every day.
He's like the most normal though, and I kind of like his woodsiness. Like
Yeah,
drives trucks, he lives in the woods.
simple guy.
Yeah, he's like a guy's guy, I
He's
guess. Very
very
tall.
large, very large.
Yes,
Yeah,
very tall.
yeah.
Okay.
That's funny.
Who is your favorite couple?
My favorite couple. I'm liking Yara and Jovi right now. I think that I liked the furniture shopping. I think they're going to bring a lot of entertainment. You?
The white rug. Awesome.
Oh, that white rug. I'm sorry, but he works in a swamp. Why are you buying a white rug? He
I
works in a swamp.
I don't know. I was like very baffled by that as well.
Yeah, I remember having this style when I was like in maybe a freshman in high school. I liked anything with like sparkle and fur, and I've outgrown that. You know,
You were also a freshman in high school.
yes, I've
So,
toned it down quite a bit since.
right. Yeah. They weren't on this episode, but I would say Tariq and Hazel. Um, I don't know. I kind of like their vibe, even though Hazel's like religion and his religion don't really go together very well. And also I think the relationship that Hazel has with his daughter is very sweet. So
Okay, yeah.
yeah, I think they're definitely my favorite. Okay, and then my last question is, who would you vote off this season?
Andrew and
Survivor
Amira.
style. Yeah,
They're not even going to meet, which feels wasteful. And I hate to be like mean, but like that French accent just does not. Oh God, it's not pleasant to my ears at all.
really, I think it's kind of nice. I don't know.
It's
Maybe
different.
because I took French.
Yeah, well, we haven't seen many people from France, so
True. I was actually thinking that. Yeah,
yeah, when they
that's very
showed her, I was
true.
like, oh, a new country for us. So this is my way of becoming cultured.
Well, wasn't that guy on that went and met that girl and she ended up having a boyfriend? Was
Yeah,
that 90 Day Fiance? Yeah.
yeah,
Was
yeah.
that the
Well,
same
the
show?
other way, or one of the versions. But yeah,
Yes.
so that was our only other trip to France. So,
Yes.
so
I
there
would
you
vote
go.
off Ron and Betty, even though they aren't a couple. I want to punch my TV every time that woman's face is on it. I can't
Now,
with her.
have you heard the internet rumors about them
No.
being swingers?
Ron and Betty?
Yes. I thought
Stephanie
Kim
Ryan made me
Kyle.
really uncomfortable. Now I'm really even more uncomfortable. I
I
don't need
thought
to
Kim
know.
and Kyle had talked about it because that's where they went when they went overnight. They were gone. They were off swinging, is the rumor. So,
Ew. I mean, whatever, to each their own, but Ron and Betty, yikes. Oh, I don't want to think about that. Okay, well, wow. That's
hopefully we can hear more about it next week. So,
yeah, that's a good one. The comment section was popping over here for a few minutes. I would just like to acknowledge, Chris P, that this is not Dave Cullinan's show, so your request for Blackstreet will not be fulfilled tonight. Maybe tune in to the hits in the morning. But Lauren, it's nice to be back with you. And
likewise.
yeah, we haven't done this in a long time. And contrary to popular belief, so I just before we finish, I heard you on the conspiracy show
Oh,
about
okay, yeah.
the big Minilady conspiracy, right?
Yeah,
And
I warned them. I said,
my face is on that intro with a line through it, John from Scranton. Thanks for that. So I'm like the mortal enemy of the Miniladies, apparently, in somebody's mind somewhere.
oh, see, I told them when they asked me to do it, I said, I'll come on. I'll answer any questions, but I don't have anything really that interesting to say because there's
Not that
really
interesting.
no drama. So,
I was waiting for something I didn't know about, but so everyone, I am not the mortal enemy of the Miniladies.
no,
Even though the photo
no.
makes it seem that way, I've been framed by John from Scranton.
Oh boy. Well, here comes the drama now. No,
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah.
All right, want to do this again next week?
Yeah.
Luckily, this show never ends. So
It never ends. And when it does, there's the other way, there's before the 90 days. So
All kinds.
we're set.
All right. Well, I think for now we're done. So, Justin,
All right.
thank you very much.
Thanks, Lauren.